That class, I hated that class. Like literally on the last day, because he was like, oh, you know, if you get a 35 or higher, because it was like 35 out of 40 points. And he's like, if you get a 35 or higher on this test, you don't have to take the final. And I was like, easy, say that. And I was like, please only get 35 or higher. And if you don't, you know, if you don't, or you can just take the score you have, right? And I had calculated my grades out, and I was like, okay, in order for me to still pass this class, well, to get an A, not pass, I wanted to get an A. In order to get an A in this class, I have to get a 35 or higher on this test. If I get a 35 or higher on this test, I do not have to take the final. So you know what I did? I got a 35. He got a 35 on that test, and when he handed it to me, I left, and I never looked back. I was like, I'm so done. I hate history. I didn't, no.
I like my girls just like I like my honey.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another running start video. And if you have not watched my last running start video, pause this and go watch it. Because I feel like I'm going to make a lot of references to the last video, because I had got a lot of questions from that video. So I wanted to make another one to like inform you guys some more, because like I said in the last video, when I first started running start, I didn't know anything about it. And the administrators did not do a good job of informing us. Like, they gave us like the basic information, you know, but not like the insiders. So that's what I'm here to give you guys. Oh, and before I get into details about running start, I want to show you guys my shirt. It says "Despite Against All Odds." This is my friend's shirt. Well, it's not my friend's shirt. This is a shirt from my friend's website. His name's Leandre. I'll link his website down below so you guys can get you a shirt like mine. But yeah, he has a whole bunch of different colors, and it's really, these are so cute. Like, this is probably like my favorite one out of all the ones that are on there, but I think there isn't one that's this color on his website. I'm not sure. But there's a whole bunch of other colors, and I know he's coming out with some, I think he has some hats out, and like, it's pretty dope. So, you know, young black kid, trying to support more black kids, because, you know, we're just trying to make it. Yeah, let's just get into this video. Also, I want to mention that today is April 3rd, and my first day of my last quarter was yesterday. So I'm currently in spring quarter of 2018, which means that I am done with Highline and Running Start after this quarter. Thank God. I'm currently taking 2 classes, and I feel so blessed. So basically, during this video, I'm just gonna like mention to you guys where I went wrong and things I did that were actually very, very beneficial for me. And then also I'll mention a couple classes that I took, just in case you're watching this and you're going to Highline, because I know that some people watched this my last video and they would go to Highline. But if you're not, I'm pretty sure your community college has some of these classes, and I just thought they were cool classes, so I wanted to recommend some for you guys. So yeah. So first off, the first thing that I did wrong, like at the very beginning of my running start journey, I missed my registration date. Now, for you guys who don't know what a registration date is, it's basically a date and a time they give you to sign up for your classes. So I don't remember the exact date and time now, because that was like 2 years ago. Basically, the consequence of me missing my registration date was that I had to take my communications class out of order. So I took Communications 220 before I took Communications 101, which is like, oh my God. I don't know why it wasn't a prereq. I could have sworn it's a prereq, but yeah, and in my opinion, the 101 class, I don't know if it was just my teacher, but the 101 class was harder than the 220 class. I was like, I don't know who that is. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of the classes I took from my first day of running start till my last quarter. So my fall quarter, my very first quarter of Highline or of running start, I took a Communications 220 class, like I mentioned earlier. I took, which a Communications 220 is a public speaking class, so I took that class. And then I took Music Appreciation, and I took a Death and Life class. Now, let me give you guys a little rundown of this quarter. This quarter was probably, it wasn't super hard for me. I was just kind of like, oh, you know, this isn't that bad. I had really good teachers this quarter, and my favorite class was my Death and Life class. Any psychology classes I love, but that Death and Life class was so much fun. Like, that was probably my favorite class. And it might not be called Death and Life at other schools, but I know they have like other classes of that nature, but it is a psychology class. We visited cemeteries. We watched videos on like the history of death, and we had, you know, like death seminars and all that kind of stuff. It was really, really interesting. That's probably my favorite class out of this whole time being at Running Start. I would retake that class. So yeah, that was probably my favorite class. And then the following quarter, which was winter of 2017. Yes, winter 2017. This is when the Running Start journey became difficult for me. And I don't know if it was because the winter time just seemed so long, or because of the classes I had. I feel like it was the classes. But I took political science, American government, which was an online class, my first online class. And then I took a college algebra class, a human sexuality class, and combined dance. And that was my first PE class. Now, with your AA, you need 3 credits of a PE class. So I had way more PE credits than I needed because I didn't have enough for high school. So I took some PE classes at college to like supplement the ones I didn't take in high school, which was like great because in college they have like kickboxing and softball and combined dance and step aerobics, and then in high school it's just like PE, you know. So I like to take it at college more than I like taking it at my high school. But yeah, combined dance was really, really fun. I actually really wanted to take it again, but then I found out that it's like a waste of time to take the same class again because you don't even get credits for it. So I was like, yikes. I almost took it this quarter, but it's at the same time as the class I'm taking now, so bummer. But yeah, that was probably my favorite class. And then college algebra, that class was really hard for me, but math is not really my thing, so that's probably why it was a struggle for me. But I had to like take tutoring and everything, but I made it through it. My teacher was super nice, so that helps. But when you have a teacher that sucks and you don't like the subject, that's just 2 no-nos. So, and then my political science class wasn't terrible. I actually really, really like online classes. I think if your teacher is super organized, you should be okay. It's just the only thing with online classes is you have to like manage yourself. And I'm taking online class now, and I've actually taken like 4 or 5 online classes already. And the one I'm taking this quarter is my first time taking like an online class survey. Like the name of the survey is like, are you ready to take an online class? And you like they ask you questions like, how many hours do you study a week? And like, how often do you check your online classes, like, you know, updates and all that kind of stuff. And I've never taken a test like that, but I think it's interesting because it is self-regulated. Like if you're on online class, your teacher isn't there to tell you to do your assignments constantly. It's more of a I have to go check it myself type thing. So that was the thing I was the most nervous about going into online classes, but you live, right? Like you learn. Like the online class I took over the summer. That class I was struggling with because usually on online classes or any other class, when you have stuff to do on like through the computer, it's like at 11:59 p.m., right? Everything's like 11:59, right? But that class I took in the summer, it was I'm going all out of order. It was genetic revolution, and he made stuff do at like 12 o'clock a.m. 12 o'clock p.m. or 1 o'clock p.m. or 2:30. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, I'm busy. Like, and it was a summer class too. So I was like, dude, why can't and then like, I would wait until later in the day to do my assignments. But then I realized, oh my gosh, it was due 4 hours ago. Like, so make sure you check your times for online classes because teachers they be out of whack. So yeah, that's what I took winter quarter. Then that spring quarter I took, which is a year from today, I took Zumba, history, which was Pacific Northwest history, English 101, and total fitness. Now, first off, this quarter was super, super hard for me because not to mention, this is when I was doing part-time. So I was taking these classes, plus I had a walking fitness class at my high school because I was still trying to get PE credits. So I was taking 3 PE classes. I had PE every single day. That was probably the worst idea I ever had in my whole life. Like I was trying to knock out a whole bunch of PE credits and I did that. I mean, it got the job done. But when I tell you having PE every day is probably the worst thing that you could ever do. It's just so much work. Like you can't wear makeup because if you wear makeup, you're gonna sweat your makeup out. If your hair is laid, you gotta make sure you wear a scarf. You gotta wear leggings or shorts every day. And it's just kind of like, I want to put on some jeans for once. You know, I want to wear some Crocs today. But it's just like, you can't, it was so much work, you guys. Like, I would never do that again. One of my second downfall that I had during Running Start, I learned my lesson to not take that many PE classes. 2 is max. I say 2. I think you can manage 2. But when it gets to 3, it's like, oh my God, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. My history class, actually, I took it for a high school. Like, I took history at my college, but it was for high school credit because I hadn't taken Washington State history. I took Georgia State history because I'm from Georgia. So all of my friends that were born and raised in Washington had already taken their Washington State history class. So I had to take it. It was actually Pacific Northwest history, but we basically just talked about Washington, Idaho, and Oregon. That's pretty much all we talked about. That class, I hated that class. Like, literally on the last day, because he was like, oh, you know, if you get a 35 or higher, because it was like 35 out of 40 points. And he's like, if you get a 35 or higher on this test, you don't have to take the final. And I was like, easy, say that. And I was like, please only get 35 or higher. And if you don't, you know, if you don't, or you can just take the score you have, right? And I had calculated my grades out, and I was like, okay, in order for me to still pass this class, well, to get an A, not pass, I wanted to get an A. In order to get an A in this class, I have to get a 35 or higher on this test. If I get a 35 or higher on this test, I do not have to take the final. So you know what I did? I got a 35. He got a 35 on that test, and when he handed it to me, I left, and I never looked back. I was like, I'm so done. I hate history. No. That quarter was kind of a struggle for me. And then I was like, ooh, woo, woo, time for summer. Gotta take summer classes. Then I had to take Intro to Philosophy and Genetic Revolution. Now, those 2 classes were not terrible. The only thing I already mentioned previously, you know, was the assignments being due at 2:30 p.m. Like, what is this? But it's okay. You know, I figured it out. I missed like the first 2 assignments I missed. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna turn it into you today. Like, I missed so many assignments because I forgot that they were due midday. But other than that, they weren't that time consuming. I actually went on a trip to Idaho, like riding on sand dunes and stuff, and I like was in the middle of nowhere. And I still had time to do the homework. Like, it wasn't like super time consuming. And then there was actually one time, I actually mentioned this to someone who commented on my previous Running Start video. They were asking if Running Start is time consuming. The summer classes are. And I think that they're super flexible over the summer because they know that you're trying to enjoy your summer. So, for instance, I went to the Dominican Republic for a week. And I did not want to bring my homework with me to the Dominican Republic. So I emailed him and I was like, I didn't even tell him I was going on vacation. I just told him that I'm going to do all my assignments for next week, this week. So I had double the homework of that week. That was probably the most stressful thing in my life because I had 2 classes. So it was like, I had a lot of work that week. But it was all worth it. I literally, like, the day we had our flight out to the Dominican was like 10 o'clock that night. And I finished my homework at 8. And I started packing everything up when I was done because I couldn't get into vacation mode if I still had homework. So I just tried to finish it all. My teacher was super flexible and it worked out really well. So yeah, teachers are super flexible. Well, at least the ones I had over the summer. So they understand where you're coming from when you're trying to, like, you know, have fun and enjoy your summer. After my summer classes were over, I went into my fall quarter, which was actually the fall of 2017, the past year. In the fall of last year, I took environmental science, which was online, intro to communications, English 205, and a yoga class. I don't really have much to say about that quarter. That quarter was kind of just like a regular, like, it was pretty chill, you know what I'm saying? I had good teachers that quarter. I had that quarter with a couple friends. I made a whole bunch of new friends in that quarter, you know. It wasn't a terrible quarter. Like, that was just average. My intro class, I was like, girl, this class should not be this hard. I already took Communications 220 and it was not this difficult. And I was getting so mad because she kept saying, like, oh, you know, my public speakers and my communications 220 class are doing better than you guys. And she's like, oh, 220 is much harder than this, guys. You need to step your game up. And I'm like, actually, I took that class already, and this is harder. I just think that the numbers are kind of like flip-floppy. The numbers don't really mean nothing because it really depends on the teacher. You got to be taking a 101 class, but your teacher be on a 345 level and you be like, oh my God. It wasn't terrible. I passed the class with 4.0, so you know how your girl do. The quarter that just passed, winter quarter of 2018, my grad year, I took Spanish, Survey of Biology, and Intro to Mass Media. Now, that was last quarter. That quarter was not bad either, but my little spiel on it, I would have to say, I took Spanish 1. And it's crazy because I already took Spanish 1 and 2 in high school, but it's way different than Spanish 1 in college. I was like, it also might be because my Spanish 1 teacher in high school, she was Caucasian. And then my Spanish teacher that I had in high school for Spanish 2 was Black. So, and then the one I had in college at my for Running Start, she was Hispanic. So, you know, I guess that does play a big role in it. So it was a little bit more intense, because native speakers, like if you've ever taken a foreign language, when you are taking the foreign language, you know what you've been taught. But then when a foreign speaker, like someone that speaks the language on a regular, when they speak it, it's like, oh my God, what did you just say? Like I make it seem like I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Spanish, but if a Spanish speaker came to me and started speaking Spanish, I'm just gonna be like, hola, ¿cómo estás? That's literally how I'm gonna be. So don't be doing that. When I went to the Dominicans, I was like, what are you guys talking about? And it's weird because when I was in the Dominicans, you know, like in the Dominicans, there's people that look like me, like they're Black like me, but they speak Spanish fluently. So people will come up to me like, and I'm like, so yeah, that Spanish class was fun though. My teacher was super nice. And yeah, and then my survey biology class, I didn't know what that class was going to be about. They had like a little description of what it was, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, sounds cool, I'm gonna take it. Because at Highline, a lot of the science teachers have really, really bad ratings, but this is probably the best teacher I had. If you guys want to know what my teachers' names were, like if you want to know the stats and my personal opinions on these teachers, please let me know. If you're going to Highline, I will let you know how it is, straight up. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah, just let me know if you guys want to know what teachers I had if you're going to Highline, because I got you. But I probably will make a video on it because I think that's a little bit invasive, but I'll DM you on the side. So yeah, but yeah, she was a super, super cool teacher. She had like the best rating out of all the science teachers, and it's called Survey of Biology, but it wasn't really, it was more of an epidemiology class. And if you don't know what epidemiology is, it's the study of diseases. So basically we just talked about like how diseases, like I can't even speak. We basically just talked about how diseases formulate, you know, how epidemiologists track diseases and like epidemics in our area and like viruses and all that kind of stuff. That's basically what we talked about in that class. I don't know why it was called Survey of Biology, but yeah. And then my intro to mass media class was actually pretty chill. The only thing I have to say about this class is the time that I chose to take it. It was a hybrid class. If you don't know what hybrid means, it basically means it's an online class and like a face-to-face class. So most of the homework so was my Spanish class. Actually, all these classes were hybrid. That was another mistake I made. I would not take hybrid again. Let me make sure I mention that. I actually don't know why I didn't mention that before. But yeah, I would not do all hybrid. My Spanish class was hybrid, biology was hybrid, and intro to mass media was hybrid. Now, let me tell you guys why I don't like hybrid classes. So the thing with hybrid classes is you'll meet maybe 2 or 3 times a week, right? But you have homework every single day. And when I say every single day, I literally mean every single day. Like if you don't have homework on Saturday and Sunday, or if you don't do homework on Saturday and Sunday, you're going to be in for it for the rest of the week. So for Spanish, we were on My Spanish Lab, and there was homework every single day. She was a little lenient though, because if you didn't finish your homework, let's say you have homework due Wednesday night, right? And it's due at 11:59. Let's say you just don't do it, right? You just decide not to do it. She was lenient, and she would be like, okay, well, everything that for that previous week will be due on that Saturday at 11:59. So if you decide, I never did this is very stupid. I knew a girl in my class who did it, and I'm just like, girl. But basically what some people would do would, they would just like not do any of the homework all week and just do all of it on that Saturday. And I'm just like, I like my weekends. So I would try my hardest to do every single assignment when it was due, so I wouldn't feel overwhelmed. But that's what I don't like about hybrid classes, because I feel like, oh, I didn't go to Spanish today, so I'll kind of forget about it, but the homework is still gonna be due. Like, because you might not have a teacher as lenient, but just make sure, like, if you take one hybrid class, that's okay. But I wouldn't do a whole hybrid schedule, because I had a whole bunch of free time and I felt like I could be free, but I would have hella homework because it's hybrid. So yeah, I wouldn't do all hybrid classes again. That was not a good idea. But yeah, my mass media class, I met on Mondays and Wednesdays. And on Wednesdays, that was the only class I had, and it didn't start till 1:30. And I missed that class at least 3 times, because by the time 1:30 comes, you don't even want to go to class no more. Like, don't choose a class that late. I would never do that again either. Because once it hit around 12 o'clock, it'd be like, okay, I don't even want to go no more. Like, around that time, it's just like, whatever. Like, I'd be tired by then. Like, I would try to get up early and go to the gym, or like try to just get up and clean the house, like trying to be active. and I would just be in the bed all day. And then I'd be in the bed and it'd be 1 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I'm just not gonna go today. Like, it's just don't even do that to yourself. Don't choose. I would say the latest to choose classes would be 11. Like, don't go any later. And I have an 11 o'clock class this quarter, and I'm kind of like, I should have chose 10 o'clock. Like, that's maybe it's just a personal preference, but for me, I wouldn't choose anything later because I just lose all types of motivation. But yeah, fast forward to now. This quarter that just started yesterday, I'm only taking 2 classes, and they're going pretty good so far. The teacher I have for my political science class, I'm taking political science state and state and local government. I don't forgot what the class is called. I'm taking a political science, state and local government, and then I'm taking an intercultural class. And I haven't really got into the political science class that much yet because it's more of we're still kind of doing the intro stuff, like fill out this survey, put your profile picture up, tell us what you like to eat for dinner, all that kind of stuff. But then in my intercultural class, we've kind of already gotten into the depths of the subject. So I would have to say I really, really like that class, mainly because I like communications, and it's an intercultural class, which means you learn about different cultures, and my class is full of diversity. It's just a lot of different ethnicities within my class, which is like super interesting because I would hate to take an intercultural class with a group of people that are all the same race. You know what I'm saying? Then I wouldn't be as interesting. So having different like perspectives and like ways of life in the class is super interesting. Like, I'm so excited for this class. Also, fun fact, I'm the only Black girl in that class, so that's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of excited about it in a weird way, but like, the day's gonna come where they're gonna be like, okay, African culture, and everybody's gonna be like, looking at me. I'm just gonna be like, I've never been to Africa. I swear, every time someone's like, oh, you know, something about African culture, and then everyone's looking at me, and I'm just like, listen, sis, I don't know nobody from Africa. I never been to Africa. Like, can we stop? That always happens to me. So I'm just waiting on the day for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still pretty excited for the class, I must say. I'm pretty excited to like experience all the different cultures and things of that nature, because the guy I sit next to is actually from Japan. So I'm just like, and the other girl on the other side, she's from India. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Oh, and I'm gonna like rewind all the way back to the beginning when I was talking about registration time. Just make sure, like, this is like a little side note because I didn't even know this when I first started running Start, like a lot of things I didn't know. But your registration time is earlier depending on how many credits you have. Everyone does not have the same registration time. Everyone's time and date is different. Registration opens on the same day, but you might not be able to register until like maybe 2 or 3 days afterwards. So, and it's based off how many credits you have. So me and my friend, we were like kind of going on a little running start journey together, and I took summer classes and she didn't. So I had like a little bit more credits than her. So my registration time was always before hers. And just recently though, ours started to be a little bit closer together, but mine's always was before hers. And we always used to ask like, you know, why are ours so far apart or whatever. And it's because of how many credits I had. So if you want your registration time to be as early as possible, because I know some classes are super, super hard to get into because everyone needs to take them, especially like the first, like the basic classes everyone needs, those fill up so quickly. I don't know, like everyone has to take them, so everyone's trying to take them at the same time. So there's wait lists too, but I've actually never been waitlisted, so you know, like I'm a good person to get advice from you guys. I've never had to withdraw from a class. I've never had to be on a wait list. Like, I've been doing pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty spectacular, you guys. Pretty great. I think that's everything for this video, you guys. Oh my gosh, I went to Gravity today, and this is my first time going by myself because usually I go with my friend, and I ordered the wrong size. So yeah, that would explain why this is so big. So yeah, I'm gonna link down below my previous Running Start video if you have not already watched it. And I want to upload some more Running Start videos because I know that there aren't that many on here, and I know I helped a lot of you guys with my first video. So if you're watching this and if you watched my previous one as well, just let me know what else you'd like to know about Running Start, and I'll be more than happy to tell you. I will be able to give a little bit more information about the graduation process and like kind of like transferring, but not really transferring. Once I've went through the process, because I actually just applied for graduation yesterday. So I can kind of give you guys some details on that as well if you just let me know that's what you want to see. So yeah, I will definitely make another Running Start video, but I have to know what content to put in it because I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of some stuff, and I thought you guys would want to know what kind of classes I took because I think that's beneficial. I would have want to know that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
I like my girls just like I like my honey. Sweet, little selfish.